Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Talk with yours truly. I am Christina McIntire. And before I get started, I wanted to wish every father or male role model a very happy Father's Day. Make sure you enjoy it, take some time off, relax. And for those people that are in their lives, make sure that they feel appreciated and valued. First, give a shout out to my sponsor, Flawless Tires. You can find them at 1195 Chester Pike and Eddystone. Make sure you take a stop in and pay them a visit. Also, follow me on Instagram, Become Your C. Visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com, where I talk about our physical, emotional, spiritual and mental aspects of ourselves to help us on our journey. Also on YouTube, BYC Become Your C, Facebook, BYC Become Your C, and I think that is it. So the topic for this week is mental health and men. And I wanted to do this because, of course, it's Father's Day, and then to shed some light on how men suffer. Like a lot of times, it's more focused on women because men a lot of times don't reach out, so the statistics are scattered. But just to bring some light on that, ways that we can help them, and for them to do their part as well. So, men are less likely to receive treatment, and men are more likely to die by suicide. And they are less likely to receive treatment because a lot of men feel that they don't need help, or it's still that stigma about men getting help because men are taught to be the strong ones, and so if you seek therapy, you're seen as weak. And especially, I know for men of color, they're taught to be strong, hold down the household, take care of the family. You're not supposed to express your emotions, and so a lot of times they keep everything hidden in. And what that does is just build up. And they can be suffering and they don't know how to get help, or they don't want to look bad as going out and get the help they need. And so one small issue can arise to a larger issue. So we need to make them feel open and in a way that it's okay for them to go get the help that we need. It's like we go to the doctors to get our physical part taken care of, a podiatrist to take care of our feet. And so it's important that men feel comfortable enough to, especially if you're in a relationship with someone, to be like, hey, I think I need help, and then have that support to back them up. A lot of times men don't get the support that they need because they are sought as the, sole provider, but men suffer just like women do, and so it's important that they have that outlet, that they can have therapy, they can talk to you about what's going on, and not feeling like they are less than, more likely to die by suicide. I mean, it's just one of them reasons. If they can't express themselves, if they have everything bottled up, those thoughts can become so invasive that they feel like they need an outlet. And so a lot of times people will drink, smoke, do drugs, and suicide seems like the less, I want to say, hurt option, so they choose that. And most people don't want to die by suicide. It's like the last resort. And so we need to have open a place of openness and allow them to get the help that they need, so that doesn't become a result. There are warning signs in men that we need to pay attention to that will show that they may be suffering. If they're very angry, have a lot of irritability, their mood changes, sleeping a lot, difficulty concentrating, they excess worry, suicidal thoughts, high risk activities, and this could be like speeding or going out there and having sex with a lot of different people. It could be doing heroin and cocaine, stuff like that. They have OCD or unusual thinking. Now, these are some, like sometimes you can have some of these symptoms. It could be a little bit, or sometimes you might not have symptoms at all. And symptoms can arise like years later. So you just pay attention to the person, pay attention to your surroundings, even men themselves. If you find yourself not feeling how you used to, you find yourself in a place where your day-to-day activities are being controlled by your thoughts, it might be time to go seek someone. Um, and I know that sometimes therapists, most of them are women. It's hard to find a male. And then it's hard in general to find someone that you can connect with. But there are people out there. It might take a little bit. I know when I was searching for a therapist, I just looked up and found the first person I found kind of connected with me. But I know a lot of people do have issues finding that one person that actually want to listen to them. A lot of times, if you ever notice when you go to the doctor, they're not really paying attention to you. They're just writing down notes and then they're moving on to the next person. So when you do seek out therapy, make sure you do your research. Make sure you feel comfortable because this is a person that you're going to be opening up to and opening up parts of yourselves that maybe you don't open up to everyone else. And so you want to have that trust established there. And the only way that you can do that is through trial and error. And so it's important if you can't talk, if you don't have the support of your friends and family, try therapy. I also urge people to go on Facebook. Facebook has a lot of different groups. I found some calmness through Facebook groups, and you may do as well. And I know it's hard for men to open up. So I feel like we as women need to give them a place so that they feel comfortable enough to open up to us. And also friends. Like if you have a friend that's suffering from mental health issues, do not judge them. Don't look at them as a weaker person because they are suffering. A lot of times, men will make fun of other men because they have something going on with them, but not realizing that they may have something going on with themselves, and that's why they're making fun of that. That's how bullying usually works. Like people that bully typically will pick on someone for something because they either lack themselves or they feel unsure about themselves. So let's try to create a support system. A support system so that our men can feel comfortable enough to come to us, and then we can offer advice and be there, whatever journey they decide to take to get healing. June is actually mental health month for men, and so it's not only Father's Day, but it's mental health for men. And so if you know someone, if you see some symptoms that are new, try to have a conversation. I know sometimes it's difficult to have conversations with some men. They might not be open to receiving receiving information, but just go at it a little bit. But also, if you find yourself in a situation where it's dangerous, definitely get out of there because sometimes anger can be so overwhelming, and anger can turn to rage. Rage can turn to abuse. And so you don't never want to put yourself in a position where you feel like your life is threatened. So it's important to have that openness, but also it's important to protect yourself. And I'm not blaming anyone, but that's why it's important for people to get the help that they need, to have a place of support, to have someone that they can go to and talk about these things. And sometimes it's out of our hands. We can offer as much support as we need, but sometimes we need someone else to step in. And that's where therapy comes into place. And it's nothing wrong with therapy. Therapy is there as a guide to help support us so that we can live the best life that we can and show us a way to do that. And eventually we'll figure out things on our own, but sometimes we just need a little help. And there's nothing wrong with a man getting help. We can't all do it on our own. We were not designed to do it on our own. And so letting them know that it's okay for them to seek the help that they need, and you have their back to support that. The U.S. male population is 151,781,326 million. And out of that, 6 million men suffer from depression. 1 in 5 adults suffer from mental illness each year. So there are 5 major mental health issues that affect men. On a higher note, depression. Again, over 6 million men suffer from depression each year. It doesn't seem like a lot out of that big number, but any amount that suffer is warrant for us to do something about it. Anxiety. So 19.1 million have anxiety each year. So this is men. 19.1 million have anxiety each year. They said about 3 million men have panic or agoraphobia or other phobias each year. There are 2.3 million people that suffer from bipolar, and half of that is men. Psychosis and schizophrenia, 3.5 million people suffer in the U.S. 90% of those that suffer from no diagnosis are men, and 10% of eating disorders are associated with men. So these are the top 5. There are other mental health issues that men suffer from, but it's definitely should shed some light on how men suffer, and a lot of these don't get diagnosed, or they don't get diagnosed properly, or they get underdiagnosed. That's why I said you have to shop around for a therapist, because some doctors will just brush it off like it's not nothing. Oh, you just having a bad day. But a lot of times mental health issues come from a repeated series of having too many bad days. You just have to be consistent, and you're looking for help. I know it can get tiring. A lot of people want to give up, be like, hey, I can do this on my own. And you can try. There are ways that you can do this on your own. I talk about holistic healing through the chakra system. That is one way to combat mental health illness. But it, just like therapy, it takes time, it takes consistency, it takes effort on your part, and your willingness to do the work behind it. So remember that any type of healing is going to take time. It's not a rush. A lot of these mental health issues didn't happen overnight. Some is hereditary, some is environmental, some is biological. And so that's why it's important to talk to your family and figure out what's going on with them. I know with conversations through my own family, I found a lot of issues that I suffer from. A lot of people do as well. And so having that open conversation, and that's what's important, to be allowed to have an open conversation about this. I know a lot of the older generation, they didn't look at it like, oh, you have mental health issues. Oh, they would brush it off like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Just basically suck it up. And so basically just sucking it up created a lot of issues, with men being able to just like be a provider, or they are taught just to be a provider, right? Just to be the financial provider and not worrying about the emotional or actually being there physically for their family. And so we have to break this like generation expectations of men and allow them to be open, allow them to express their emotions in a way that they don't feel attacked, not only by, the person that they're with, but by their family and friends also. We should never judge someone for what they're going through, because we all go through stuff at different times, and allowing them to be able to come to some solutions so that they can enjoy their life to the best that they can. The highest rate of suicide is Caucasian men over 85. Suicide is the 7th leading cause of death in men. Gay and bisexual males are likely to develop mental health disorders. Social isolation, substance abuse, unemployment, military-related trauma, genetic suspicion, a higher risk of suicide. Or so all of those things make it men more likely to have a high risk of suicide. So pay attention to them. 1 in 5 men have alcohol dependency. Military veterans are 2 times as likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. So if you listen to these things, there's a lot of different factors that can contribute to men's mental health. And so trying to find out where it's coming from will help make a plan better for them. Low level of testosterone are correlated to depression, stress, and mood swings. So it's important to go get checked, have a physical to, you know, make sure none of those factors are contributing to your mental health, because some physical issues can cause mental health. Like I know if you suffer from diabetes can cause panic and anxiety. When your sugar drops too low, you'll have heart palpitations and stuff like that. And so it's important to go get that checked. It's a couple different ones, like migraines are caused by certain mental health disorders. And so trying to make sure that you're okay. And so if that's okay, now we move on to the next step. And that's trying to figure out where this comes from. That's why the conversation is important with the family. That's why once you figure all this out, then maybe therapy is had, or finding a way that works for you. Therapy doesn't always work for people. We have church. A lot of people use church as a way to heal, which is great also. And then trying to do it your own way. The foods that we eat can hurt our mental health issues as well. So you have to pay attention to everything overall to find a solution. And it does require change. And a lot of times we don't want to change because change is uncomfortable. We're so used to doing stuff a certain way, and now we have to basically figure out a new way. And we don't want to do that. We want to stick what feels good to us. But a lot of times what feels good to us is not what's right for us. And so I'm trying to find a plan for that. Men, again, are less likely to receive help because of social norms. Typically, men, again, are thought to be strong. So they don't need help, right? They can just suck it up. They'll be fine. They don't hurt as much as women hurt. They don't have the same emotions. But in reality, we all have anger. We all get sad. We all cry. Now, men may not cry in front of people, but they do cry. And men are happy just like females are happy. And so it's important that we don't put those labels on men, because what that does is take from them as a person, right? We are a people, and men should definitely have a place where they feel comfortable and able to express, especially if they're having a bad day. A lot of times, I know as women, we got so much going on in our heads, we want to talk. Typically, women are talkers, and so it's important that if you have someone that you're sharing your life with, that you stop and take a moment and ask them about their day, ask them how they're feeling. A lot of times, a lot of what we feel can be resolved through conversation, but a lot of times we may talk over the person so they never get heard, and if they feel like they can't be heard, they'll hold that within. And just having that place, even if you don't have anyone, you have siblings or you have someone in your life, listen to the males that you have in your life, right? Give them a chance to be able to express themselves. Let them know that they can come to you and talk without judgment. And that way you can build a better, a relationship with this person. Men are reluctant to talk. Again, a lot of men don't want to express their feelings, right? They are taught to hold it in, and so that's what they do. I have been with some men, tried to have conversations with them, and they'll tell me it's nothing wrong, but it's something wrong, and then things get spiraled out of control. And that's what you don't want, is things to get so out of control that you lose the relationships that you have, that you wind up doing something that you regret, you wind up getting locked up. And so a lot of things can be solved by just having a conversation, but also men taking control back of themselves as well. So if you are a male and you know you're suffering, ultimately it's left up to you to go get the help that you need. Like, granted, you want people there, you want to have the support, but you are responsible for yourself, especially as an adult. And I know that support means everything, but until you get it, it's important for you to take this journey, because it is a journey for yourself. Like, people can be behind you and support you, but ultimately, if you don't want it for yourself, it's not going to work. People can't hold your hand forever, and so you must be willing to take the next step. And then downplaying symptoms, like some men may be like, "Oh, it's not that bad, right? Oh, I only do such and such. Sometimes it's not that bad." But if it's more often than not, if it's a habit that you didn't have before, um, definitely want to look into what's going on. And again, a lot of those things that I was talking about can contribute to why men suffer from mental health issues. So seeing what's going on around you, if like it's a change in a job status or change in a family structure. Again, I was talking about military vets. Like, everything affects how we think, feel, and behave. And so having those symptoms definitely can help prevent future things from happening. You have to take control of that, right? You have to pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to your lifestyle. Lifestyle can affect how you feel. When you, like, let's say your diet, if you eat too much sugary things, too much heavy things, you'll feel tired afterwards, and it affects your body. I know for me, when I consume too much sugar, I have panic and anxiety attacks the next day. I don't know if that works for males too, but just paying attention to those things will help you in the long run. And it is tiresome, right? It's exhausting that you have to sit here and figure out, and trying to figure out can actually cause anxiety and panic. Trying to figure out this plan, but give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Take time. Be kind to yourself. And knowing that, starting is the hardest part of any journey. And knowing that, and if you do have people in your life that you can go to for support, hold on to them, because support is something very hard to come by. In general, a lot of times people say they'll support you and then leave you when things get hard, and that's what we do not want to do. If we know that we have men in our life that are suffering, what we don't want to do is to leave them when things get hard. Now, I'm not saying that you should be in any situation that is affecting you um, in a bad way as well, but being able to tolerate them for a little bit, because we expect people to tolerate us during our bad times, but giving them that room to express themselves, and then being having that kind heart and letting them know, like, now it's time, maybe you need to go get help, and giving them a place that they feel safe. And that's what's important, being able to have a conversation and allowing men to feel safe, because some men don't feel safe, not in their homes, not in their friendships, not even within themselves. And if you suffer from mental health, you know that it's a real prevalent thing. We deal with it every day, and for men, they have to have that outlet, and so let's allow them to have that outlet. A lot of times we don't worry about men like we should. Not saying everybody, just in general. And I think it's important that we see them. They are our counterparts. They are our providers. They're a source of energy and strength, and so we should treat them as such, and making them feel valued as well. Like, I don't think some men get the value that they need, the appreciation that they need. We expect them to be a certain way. We expect them to do these things, but showing people that they are appreciated goes a long way. A simple thank you. If you see someone's tired, try to take some, you know, burden off of their back. It could be something simple as picking up a meal, or if they're like, for me and my brothers, we swap children. I'll babysit for them sometime. doing that for them alleviates some of the burden, right? And so we can do little things. We always expect for men to do and do for us. And so it's important for us to just stand up a little bit and appreciate the men that we have in our life. Um, Depending on the race, there is stigma, and then it can be an underlying cause. They can be overdiagnosed and underdiagnosed. I already discussed that. And things that they can do: go to therapy, have more supportive people, improve your physical health, and find the causes. And that's pretty much it. And I just wanted to, because it's Father's Day, it's for us as women to, I know some women, um, maybe you have children and maybe some men haven't been great to you in your life. And I just don't think this is the day to bash those men, because it shouldn't affect you no more. And granted, I don't know what that feels. I mean, I do know what it feels like. I haven't had a father in 26 years. Around this time of year, it's pretty sad. My father got killed 26 years ago on 291, and the case still remains unsolved. But I did not let that hinder me from growing. I don't, sit here and bash and say, oh, me, and I don't think that other women should do the same. Just appreciate the men that you do have in your life, to appreciate, because a real man steps up, whether, they are his children or not. And even if they don't, I believe God will send the people that we need in our life. I was fortunate enough to have an uncle that stepped in for me, and helped me the best way that he could. I have brothers that step up and have shown me what it really means to be a man. They have helped me, and my sisters help raise our children as well, and now they have children of their own. So there are positive men. There are men that's doing things. There are men that are just great guys. And I think we need to show them more support and show them more love. And I don't think men get highlighted enough, especially on this day. It's sad. I was trying to find gifts for people, and there is nothing for men. Like men don't do what they're supposed to do, and they do. We just, I think social media just put this bad stigma, because there are men that don't do what they're supposed to do, but then there are women that don't do what they're supposed to do. And so should we just focus on the negativity that is placed on men? No, I don't think so. I think we need to show those men that we do have the honor that they do deserve, so that they feel loved and so they feel appreciated. So take time out today. If you have those men in your life, call, get a card. I know men don't do flowers. Figure out something that they enjoy. Everybody's always in the mood for food. A good gift is alcohol. Most people are not going to turn down alcohol. And just let them people know that you love them. I know sometimes it's hard to communicate love through words, but you can do it through your actions, right? And I'm just so grateful that I have had men in my life that show me what it means to love and be loved, and show what it means to just stand up and be a great man. And that is something that I admire. I just been lucky, that I've had that. Granted, I do miss my dad, but it's an unfortunate thing. I can't do anything to bring that back. So, give a shout out to the fathers that are in heaven, that are not no longer here with us. Allow them to continue to watch over us, and we just have to go on and continue to live. It hurts, when we don't have that, but I always believe that people are put in our life for a reason, and it might not be the way that you want it, but you better accept it, because real love, unconditional love, don't come by too often. And so appreciate those men that you do have, and don't fault them for some mistakes that they made. Like, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we gotta watch our own selves and watch our choices of the men that we pick. Like, it's kind of I don't want to say our fault, but we have to figure it out, and everything is a lesson learned. Just love on them. I have a very big family, and I'm so grateful for it. I'm just grateful for everyone, and I think everyone has, someone that they can go to, and a male role model that they know that they have and they can look up to for support. Just give our men the flowers that they deserve, right? I know the men don't like flowers, but that's just a saying. But give them what they deserve on this day and every day. Don't just let it be, you know, on one day. Show men that they are appreciated every single day. If they, especially if they showing up and out for you every single day, they deserve that. And it shouldn't be like, oh, here type of thing. Let them feel the love that they give to you, right, every day. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this Sunday on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day again to all those males, those father's figures, my brothers and my uncles and other people that are a part of my life that have shown me what it really means to be a man. I'm very so grateful for you. I'm grateful for all the men that I have come in contact with that show up and show out. I have seen and experienced some very strong, hardworking men and give them what they deserve. Make sure you tune in each and every Sunday at 12 p.m. Mental Health Talk with yours truly, Christina McIntire. Visit my website, www.becomeyourc.com. Follow me on Instagram, Become Your C, YouTube, BYC, Become Your C, Facebook, BYC, Become Your C, or Christina McIntire. Make sure you show appreciation today. You show real love, and that you enjoy your day. Fall in love with yourself so the world can fall in love with you. Till next time.